First of all, I'm sorry I couldn't be here tonight. I wish I could celebrate with all of you. This is my third year coaching the track team, and again, I absolutely loved it. The team worked well together, cheered each other on, and pushed each other to improve. We went to 3 meets this year. Thank you to the parents who drove to our meets, all of which were an hour or two away. Thank you also for your advice to the athletes, helping them check into their events, your cheering and encouragement, the coffee you bought me, and the canopies you set up so we could have a comfortable home base at the meets. And now for our athletes. As I call your name, please come to the front to be acknowledged and receive your ribbon. Stay there until all of the athletes have been recognized. I'll start with my fifth graders. My fifth graders were only allowed to compete in 1 meet this year, but they practiced with us all season. Donnie. Donnie stepped in to run the hardest relay when I needed a spot filled. He especially liked to push his fellow fifth graders to succeed by making sure they didn't cheat during our workouts. Ife. Ife wasn't too sure he wanted to do track this year, but I'm sure glad he did. He has seemingly endless energy for practicing shot put, and he kept our athletes entertained on the sidelines. Annabelle. Annabelle took every opportunity to improve her speed and strength, running at home and coming out to extra practices. She came and helped time the older athletes even when she didn't have to come to practice. As Vince told her, "It's a good thing you're here because you're the future of our team." My sixth graders were all new track athletes this year. Niall. Niall mentioned in the beginning of the season that she didn't like to run, and I wondered, why are you here? Then I saw her compete. At the end of the season, I even overheard her say, "The 400 is a lot of fun." She definitely made the right choice in joining our team. Phoenix. I remember after Niall missed a practice when we went over baton handoffs that Phoenix took extra time to teach her and practice with her, helping to improve the team's time in both of their relay races. Kyle. Kyle worked hard and was able to work on and improve the skills here that he learned at his Glassboro track practices. My seventh graders were all returning athletes from last year. Angelina. Angelina really got to work on her sprinting this year, placing in all of her individual events and both relays, which she anchored. I told her her competition is fierce, but it just shows how fierce she is. So she told me her nickname for herself, the Anja Bull. Libby. Libby is my field event girl who bravely took on being our only girl discus thrower this year. She's a dedicated teammate, and when she was hurt and couldn't run, she came to practice and took pictures for the yearbook. Andrew. Andrew did well wherever I put him, short or long distance, and anchored our relays. He won first place in the mile in his first race and possibly the most exciting race of the season, and another day managed to place in both the 1 and 2 mile, despite them being less than an hour apart. Landon. Landon had some pretty bad luck this season and separated his shoulder after a first week of practice. He got the okay from the doctor to compete the night before our second meet, and then competed in the maximum of 4 events. My advice for next year, avoid trampolines next track season. Brian. Brian let me know what events he wanted to do this year, like the 800 which he placed in, and then he told me, "But I can do other events if you need me to." He probably regretted this offer after I put him in the 800 and all 3 relays in 1 meet, but he improved his times and survived. Vincent. As you can tell, I could put Vince in any event and know that he'd do well. He placed in his relays, the discus, and the 200. Vince is the one at practice who would tell me if we were running too slowly, and even though he runs sprint events, one time ran the mile at practice because he can. My 8th grade athlete was a first-time track competitor. Tatiana. Tatiana improved her speed and form as the season went on, placing in the 200 and the relay that the girls bravely ran in the rain. She may have been running so fast to get back to the dry car, but it worked. Now for the award for Most Improved Player. The award this year goes to Vincent Simmons. Vince was great at the beginning of the season, but he was never satisfied with that. He pushed himself to improve and did so in strength, speed, and skill, so that he earned a personal best in every single event at our last meet, including both relays in which he ran the first leg. And last is our award for Most Valuable Player. The award this year goes to Andrew Baina. Andrew earned, or helped earn for the relays, 24 of our team's 40 points this season. He earned 6th place in the 4x200, 4th place in the mile, 3rd place in the 200 and 400, 2nd place in the 2 mile, and 1st place in the mile. Thank you all for your work and for a great season.